Good evening. Welcome to this Monday guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. I'm Wai Cheong, and together we'll be doing our two meditations. First meditation on calm abiding, calming, where we work on calming the disturbances of our body and mind, so that both of them can really abide in this moment, abide in the meditation peacefully and blissfully, hopefully. Today we can look at the theme of how not to hurry in our meditation. Because so often when we meditate, even though these days we may want to use meditation to deal with our the different stress reactions, our reactions to the various stressful situations in life, reactions that quite often we talk about it as fight or flight mode. But we may also notice sometimes as part of our meditation, the way we go about meditating, we may actually manifest similar kind of reactions within our meditation. We could be in a hurry. We are in a hurry to be peaceful. We are in a hurry to calm down. We are in a hurry to get to whatever image of meditation we may have in mind. So we are quite often short of time, so to speak. People have ever said, no, I have only 15 minutes to meditate. And then right on the dot of 15 minutes, I must get up and rush out and get to work or get on to the next thing that I need to do. So is it possible for me to be calm and peaceful within that 15 minutes? Well, it's possible to calm down within 15 minutes, but not in that kind of context or situation where we are sort of all geared up to dash out of the house. Maybe in that case, you should only meditate 10 minutes and give yourself 5 minutes time to leisurely get ready. So that's why I thought I think sometimes it's a habit, because we live in a fast-paced society. So we have this habit of, we all do it differently, yeah. Of quickly, we're always in a hurry. Not quite sure why we are in such a hurry, but we may find ourselves doing so. So that kind of attitude, when we bring it into our meditation or when we manifest it in our meditation, especially calm abiding meditation, it can be a bit of a contradiction to what we are trying to do through meditation. The very attitude itself may undermine our effort at calm abiding meditation. So is it possible for us to also notice that and maybe bring about a shift in the attitude, how we go about meditating? So instead of feeling that we need to try harder, work harder, put more energy, put more effort in our meditation in order to get to where we want to be. In other words, what I call hurrying to where we want to be. Why not try a different approach? Think of it as this way. In meditation, it gives us an opportunity to just stop. No rushing about, no getting here, getting there, no achieving this, striving for that. We just an opportunity, especially in calm abiding type of meditation, to just stop. Right? Stop rushing around, stop hurrying. We stop so that we can allow the body and also the mind to settle back into the body, settle back into the posture, for the mind to settle back or settle down into this moment. So we come back fully to this present moment, to here and now, and we just see what is going on in this moment, so that we can be more aware and more in touch with the only reality that we have, which is here and now in this very moment. Not to worry about what to do about it after we are aware. Let's first be aware of what is actually unfolding and what is actually happening in our own life, in our own experiences. And then we can be curious about whether just by doing less and less and eventually almost nothing, the whole point of stopping, of settling down, settling back into this moment, how would that impact our experiences, experiences in meditation? Is it really possible to, in so doing, help us to slow down the activity of the mind, help the body to loosen up, to unwind, to release the various bodily kind of reactions to stress, and also to help the mind to put aside the various mental reactions to stress. So that's what we can explore, of not hurrying, not doing more, not trying harder. Instead, to do the opposite, of stopping, of doing less and less, until in our meditation, maybe in this meditation session, you suddenly got a point where you feel like, hey, I really don't have to do anything at all, apart from being aware, being present with whatever is happening within our own body and mind. So let's give that a try and see what sort of effect it may have on our meditation experience. So take a few moments, adjust your body into whatever meditation posture that is most suitable for you. You can sit on a chair or sit on the floor, on a cushion. You can also, in the privacy of your own room, your own place, choose to lie down, lie on your back in the supine position. Good to lie on a firm surface like the floor, or a bed, or the lounge. Or just make sure there's some padding so that you feel comfortable. And while you're doing that, I just ring this bell to signal the start of our first meditation. So let's take a few moments and allow the body some time to adjust, to find its way into our meditation posture. Take care that in this posture, we allow our back, our spine, to be in the most comfortable, natural position. Upright if we are sitting, straight if we are lying down on our back. Rest your hands and arms on some support. If you are sitting, you can rest your hands on your knees or in your lap. Lying down, rest your arms on the floor, on your support. The main idea is to provide support for your both arms so that you do not need to tense up your shoulder muscles, your arm muscles, in order to hold up your arms in any particular way. Feel free to close your eyes completely, which is what I often recommend. Of course, you're most welcome to leave them open or half open if you are used to that. So let's become aware in this posture of the different sensations coming into our awareness from the points of contact between our body and the seat, our body and the ground. We want to allow the body to feel that it is resting on a support that is firm, solid, and stable, and that the whole posture will feel balanced and safe. By doing so, we hope to trigger an automatic natural process whereby the body, recognizing that it is in a well-supported posture, may decide that it does not need to be so tight, so tense, so contracted. Given time, our body can begin to loosen up, to unwind, and to let go of some of those unnecessary contractions, tightenings, so that it can really settle down comfortably into the posture. So that will be the first step of the meditation, acquiring a seat for our body in meditation. So next, we're going to spend some time to help body and mind to shift gears, to transition into a meditative state. And we do so by inviting our attention to come back to here and now, to be in touch with our own body, to be aware and be in touch with bodily sensations. So let's start at the crown of the head. Gently resting our attention at the crown. See if you can become aware of sensations at the crown, at the topmost part of our body. Some of us may notice tingling sensations or slight feeling of pressure, maybe a sense of warmth or coolness. It may also be nothing at all, which is quite normal. And we allow our attention to flow downwards from the crown, maybe first into the forehead, be in touch with sensations in the rest of the face. Notice whether have you unconsciously tense up the muscles of your face, maybe muscles of your forehead, muscles of the jaw, or muscles around the eyes. And is it possible to gently and consciously relax some of these facial muscles? See if we can let into our own face a feeling of softness, of ease and comfort. Become aware also of sensations in the rest of the head, sensation at the sides of the head, at the back of the head, sensations within the head. And whenever we feel ready, we let attention travel down into the neck, touching the throat. Notice sensations here. And we continue to allow attention to move down into the shoulders so that we are in touch with sensations at the shoulders. Sensations at the top of both shoulders, at the front, at the back, at the joints. We let our attention continue down into both arms, sensing as we go. Notice simple sensations, nothing spectacular, without the need of great effort on our part. Just tune in and notice sensations in your upper arms, sensations at the skin level, sensations at the muscle level, sensations at the various joints. Notice subtle sensations at both elbows. And then moving at your own pace, feel free to ignore what I'm saying. Continue down into the forearms, and eventually arriving at both hands, so that we become aware of sensations in both hands, in the fingers, all the way to the fingertips. And now that we are aware of sensations in both arms, see if you can give permission, allow both arms to rest comfortably on their support. Imagine surrendering their weight to gravity and let them go. Let's come back to the chest throughout the exercise. You may find that you have to invite your attention to come back to the body again and again. And that is perfectly fine. As part of the practice itself. Coming back to the body, to the chest. See if we can notice sensations here. Maybe sensations of the movement of the chest as we breathe in and out. Moving at your own pace, when you feel ready, allow attention to descend from the chest into the abdomen, sensing as we go. Notice sensations not only at the skin, at the muscles, but deep within the abdominal cavity. Maybe we can be in touch with the various organs here. And as we notice sensations at the front of our body, we also take care to be aware of sensations at the back of the body. Notice sensations at the back of the neck, the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. We allow attention and awareness to gather at the pelvis so that we really notice the various sensations here in this part of the body. Maybe we notice the weight of the pelvis resting on the seat, on whatever support it may be on. See if we can, once again, give permission, allow the weight of our pelvis to rest comfortably on the support. And then let's continue down both legs at the same time, starting from the hip joints, moving at our own pace towards the knees, from the knees down towards the ankles, and then into both feet so that we are aware of sensations at the top of the feet, the soles of the feet, sensation within the toes. We rest both legs comfortably on their support and imagine surrendering their weight to gravity. We rest our body in this posture Allow the body plenty of time to continue to unwind, to loosen up, to release more and more of those unnecessary tensions and tightness so that the body can really settle down comfortably. We rest our mind together with the body in the present moment. Feel free to make use of any bodily sensations or the sensations of the breath as a support for our attention, for our mind. We can always invite our attention, our mind to come back here and now, reconnect with the breath sensations, for example. Each time we become aware of our attention, our mind, each time we invite it to come back here and now, to reconnect with the breath sensations, for example, we are helping the mind to settle down, to settle back. So coming back to the breath, if you use the breath as a support, each time we return our attention to the breath, each time when we notice an out-breath, see if you can make use of that opportunity with the out-breath to release. Breathing out, we can allow some physical tension or tightness to flow away with the breath. We can release the different thoughts, the words, the images, could be the memories or some fantasy. We can release them alongside the out breath and let them go. So coming back to here and now, resting our body in the meditation posture, giving permission for the body to take its time, to continue to settle down, to settle back into the posture, to unwind, to loosen up. And likewise for the mind, for our attention, without any struggle, without striving or hurrying to get to some place, to have certain experiences. We simply gently invite the attention to come back here and now, maybe resting on the breath sensations, experiencing the in-breath and the out-breath, and to remember to release each time we breathe out. Release anything unhelpful, release anything unnecessary, release any sense of striving, of struggle, of hurrying, And just let your mind settle back and settle down onto the breath, into this moment. So coming back to this moment with your attention, not to be upset if you find that maybe your mind is drifting to sleep, or maybe the mind is still preoccupied with thinking. All these are quite normal reactions of our body and mind. We simply invite our attention to come back in this moment, attending to the body. We help the body to settle back, to settle down, to be aware of all the changing bodily sensations. We invite our attention to come back to this moment, to rest on the changing sensations of our breath. And each time we breathe out, we can remind ourselves with the word release. See if we can facilitate the release of bodily reactions and mental reactions. And then finally, I invite you to expand the scope of your awareness, to check in and notice how your body is feeling, how your mind is doing. See if you can take this opportunity and highlight anything helpful, beneficial, anything positive or pleasant. Highlight that to yourself, to your awareness, so that we can make those a part of our meditation experience. See if you can appreciate any sense of physical relaxation, physical settling down that may have happened in this session. And how about the mind? Notice any degree of calmness, of stillness, of ease and comfort in your own mind. And we give permission to allow these positive aspects to stay, to linger in body and mind, to continue to benefit us long after the meditation is over. So that is calm abiding meditation, where we emphasize on try to cultivate an attitude of doing less and less until we do nothing in our meditation. A kind of alternative to maybe a more common attitude of striving, of struggling against what we find in our meditation, be it in our body, in our mind, or sometimes even in our environment. And so instead of adopting a more antagonistic approach or kind of reaction to what we find in our meditation, is it possible for us to relate to them a bit differently, with awareness, with a certain degree of acknowledgement, and also to give body and mind a sense of boundless time and space for them to, to unwind, to loosen up, to unfold, to find their way back to balance. Yeah. So there's something hopefully you can give it a try and see how it works. I prepared a second meditation for this evening because lately I find, in fact, the past few weeks I have not been keeping touch with the news. I kind of actively avoid. I mean, I kind of know what's happening, but not in much details. I don't particularly I don't have a TV, so I don't watch TV, which is wonderful. And I just sort of now and then dip into some short videos about what's going on in the world, but not spending too much time, because I sometimes find quite distressing things happening in the world. Stirs up a lot of reactions within us, and not all reactions are necessarily helpful or constructive. And today I thought we'll do a meditation called Tongling, taking and giving. Tongling is Tibetan, come from a Tibetan Buddhist tradition. It's an unusual meditation because what we tend to do when we're confronted with things that are confronting or negative, or at least very disturbing or stressful, we tend to do whatever it is to keep it away. We either withdraw ourselves, protect ourselves. We might strike out against whatever it is, for good or for bad. One way or another, we try to deal with it, try to get rid of it. So there is deep down, there's a resistance, a kind of rejection of what is happening, especially rejecting them from coming too much into our awareness, into our own sense of space. Tongling works opposite to that. Tongling invites all whatever it is that is challenging, be it what is happening to us or happening to the people around us or happening to our world, invite them to come into our awareness. And so that we can find within ourselves a compassionate response. So it's an exercise in compassion. What does it look like, confronted with all these happenings, all this stuff? What is a compassionate response feel like or look like? Can I bring forth that? So that is the first part. That is the taking part, taking in, letting in. And then having let them in, sort of make a round, like a roundabout turn around at our hearts to bring forth a compassionate response? Is it possible to find also within our own heart something really positive and constructive, and to send it out and to share it with others, or to send it forth into the world, for it to have a kind of positive influence? And that is out of loving kindness. So it's a meditation that help us get in touch with these two wholesome qualities of the heart, compassion and kindness. And we tend to synchronize it with the breath. So just as we breathe in and we let air into our system, we breathe in and we let in all this different stuff going on in our life. We symbolize it. It might be helpful to just work with a symbol. I tend to think of it as some dark smoke, like substances that have a certain kind of unpleasant quality associated with it, and breathe that dark smoke in by imagination, of course. Breathe it in with the in-breath. Imagine it coming in to touch the heart, to invoke from one's own heart a compassionate response. And then on the out-breath, breathing out, imagine sending something really warm and nice and positive and helpful, sending it out. And again, using another image. So usually I think of it as some form of light, some brightness, some radiance, with a certain degree of warmth, or even with a certain degree of happiness or bliss. And imagine breathing that out and sending it forth into the world. So that is Tongling meditation. So today what we're going to do is we're going to just start with working with texture. Breathe in something, you can change the image, something that represents what we tend to reject or resist, whichever form that speaks to you. Sometimes I suggest it can be an image, but I use dark smoke. It can be any image. It can also be, sometimes I breathe in. For example, if I feel life feels very cluttered at the moment, very hemmed in, so I breathe in the sense of clutterness. Or if life feels very heavy, weighing down, I breathe in the sense of heaviness. So that comes in. And we try to relate this with compassion, try to find a compassionate response to it. May I or others be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. On the out breath, we reverse the image. Breathe in darkness, breathe out light. Breathe in heaviness, breathe out lightness, buoyancy. Breathe in clutterness, breathe out spaciousness. So we start by working with the pair of contrasting experiences and images. And then the second part of the meditation, I invite you to maybe give those images specific, refer them to specific instances or specific person, their experiences, could be ourselves, could be others. And in the same way, as we breathe that in with the specific meaning, to try to find a compassionate response, and also to find a loving kindness, compassionate response to the in-breath, and a loving response with the out-breath. Okay, so let's do a Tongling meditation. So as usual, I invite you to settle back into a meditation posture. So feel free to close your eyes completely if you find that easier, or else you're most welcome to leave your eyes open or half open. And as we allow our body to adjust and find its way back into the meditation posture, let's make use of our breath as a support in this meditation on Tongling, taking and giving. So let's start with a few deep breaths. Just breathe in and out deeply, and try to remind ourselves on the out breath to release. We allow our breath to settle back to its natural rhythm. Allow the body to breathe itself. So it doesn't matter, there's no such thing as a perfect breath. So our breath sensations may feel fast or slow, maybe shallow, maybe deep, maybe short or long. And whichever it is perfectly fine. And now we rest our attention, our awareness on the changing sensations of the breath, so that we fully experience the in-breath and the out-breath. And quite often we will notice that our attention doesn't stay with the breath. And this is, again, very normal kind of behavior of our mind. Our mind, our attention may tend to wander off elsewhere. And whenever we notice that, all we need to do is simply invite our attention to just come back, reconnect with the breath, and continue from there. There's no cause for alarm or distress or upset. We simply come back, reconnect with the breath, and continue with the meditation. And here we start by working with the two opposing images or textures of experience without attaching any meaning to the two images. We simply try out. On the in-breath, imagine breathe in something that represents the more unwanted aspects of life, I suppose. Give it a form, something that you can relate to. Like, for example, I breathe in dark smoke. Or you can also breathe in textures or experience, as I explained, feeling of clutterness, of heaviness. Breathe that into one's lungs, one's heart. And on the out breath, see if we can breathe out something the very opposite of it. An image of brightness, of radiance, a feeling of spaciousness, of lightness. And alternate the two. Breathe in, let in what is dark. Breathe out, sharing, giving what is light. And think that within our own heart, within our own chest, is this power, this ability to transform what is dark into light, to transmute what is heaviness into lightness, what is clutterness into spaciousness. Then that is our heart of compassion and loving kindness. Coming back to the breath, reminding ourselves on the in-breath, in your own way, let in the darkness, the dark smoke, the heaviness. Think of it as a movement to invoke compassion. May all of us be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And on the out breath, imagine releasing something bright and radiant, something spacious, light. Can also be of temperature. Breathe in coldness, breathe out warmth. And do so from a place of loving kindness on the out breath. May all of us find happiness and the causes of happiness. So for the next few minutes, at our own pace and in our own way, work with the two opposing images or textures. Don't feel that you need to do it with every single breath. You might want to space it out, at least for a few breaths. Simply focus on the in-breath, letting in maybe the image of dark smoke, cultivating, familiarizing with compassion. And then when you feel ready, switch. And for the next few breaths, focusing on the out breath, sharing why it's bright, why it's warm, why it's spacious, out of kindness. So coming back to the breath, in Tongling meditation, we practice using images, symbols, something relatively safe. Don't feel that we need necessary to confront with all the details of reality. We just work with a simple images to get ourselves used to try on a different set of responses, one of compassion, of kindness, letting in that darkness bit by bit at our own pace, with the wish may I and others be free from pain, suffering, and their causes. And then on the out breath, we get used to sharing, letting out something positive, uplifting, let out some brightness, some sense of warmth, spaciousness, or lightness. May I and others find happiness and the causes of happiness. Coming back to our natural breath, continue in our own way with the practice of Tongling, working with the two opposing images, symbols, textures, or experiences. And feel free to continue doing so. But on occasion, maybe the image of someone pop into your mind, and if you feel like it as you breathe out, why not send forth some of that light, some of that brightness, that spaciousness, that warmth to that person? May you find happiness and the causes of happiness. And likewise, as we continue with Tongling, working with the symbolic images, yet another situation come to mind. And maybe you are ready to breathe in and let in a little bit of the pain, the difficulties, the struggle related to that situation. Breathe in, even just a tiny bit of it, in the form of that dark smoke, in the form of that heaviness. Let it come into our own hearts. Let it help us open our hearts and invoke a compassionate response. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And feel free to carry on with Tonglen meditation in your own way. Coming back to our natural breath, breathing in for a while, focusing on the in-breath. Imagine letting in, with the in-breath, an image like a dark smoke or some form of experiences like heaviness, coldness, things that we associate with suffering, with unpleasantness, with pain and struggle. Let it into our own hearts to bring forth a compassionate response. And then when we feel ready, switch over, focusing on the out breath for a while. Practice releasing something bright, radiant, warm, something that represents goodness, happiness from the heart of loving kindness, and share it with others. So coming back to our natural breath in Tongling meditation, we try to cultivate a sense of trust and confidence in our own heart's ability in touch with qualities of compassion and loving kindness, that we have the ability to transform the challenges in our life, the causes of suffering in our own life, into the causes of happiness. And then finally, to conclude the meditation, breathing in, imagine all the darkness that need to be transformed in this session. You have already breathed them into one's own heart, and you have already transformed all of them completely. As you breathe out, tell yourself that you have sent forth, you have transformed and sent forth all those darkness, transmuting them into what is bright, radiant, positive, and beneficial. So that we can end our meditation on a positive note, and that we can send forth our best motivation and intention, sincerely wishing that may we ourselves and everyone else be free of suffering and the causes of suffering, and may we find happiness and the causes of happiness. Okay, so that is Tonglen, taking and giving. Very simple, maybe not so simple meditation, but a very powerful and wonderful meditation to come back to now and then. Help us to consider how we can transform all the various news and our awareness of difficulties and suffering and struggle within ourselves and around us, and see whether we can use that to transform us, to nurture compassion and loving kindness. So with that, we conclude this evening session. Hope you have enjoyed the meditation, and wish you to have a good week ahead, and hope to see you next week. So good night and thank you.